Elon Musk has had the worst week because thank God the people in this country and the world don't really like it when an unelected billionaire takes power and works to reduce our rights, as well as working to reduce the rights of people across the globe through propping up right-wing movements in their countries. I'm not close to done. He's proven himself to be a Nazi who promotes other Nazis, as well as a Zionist who's buddies with all the other billionaires making money off this genocide. And he purchased a social media platform where he could spout white supremacy and right-wing rhetoric for the years leading up to this election in order to build up the right-wing movement in the United States. He had already done incredible damage to this country before he took power, as well as to countries like Germany, where he helped the right-wing party take a historic win this spring, and countries like the UK, where he incited race riots against Arabs. And now he's trying to do the same to countries like Canada. Now there's a global boycott, not just in America, against Elon Musk, his fascism, and everything I just talked about, against him and his brands. Donald Trump, I think today, posted on Truth Social calling boycotts against Tesla and Elon Musk illegal. There's no such thing as an illegal boycott unless it were discriminatory against marginalized groups such as black people, Jews, or gays, something like that. But there's no such thing as an illegal boycott against a billionaire. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous to even have to think about. This guy is and has done all those things I just said with his power. He clearly does not deserve the money, power, and influence that he currently has. And if you want to analyze their rhetoric, it's the same exact playbook, almost verbatim, that our corrupt officials used against people protesting Israel's crimes or boycotting the apartheid state of Israel. In that case, they don't only label it an illegal boycott, but our politicians, our government has legislated that boycotting Israel is illegal. Like most states have anti-boycott laws to protect Israel. Just because there's legislation making a certain boycott illegal does not actually make it morally wrong or determine that it should be illegal at all. In fact, we learned from Martin Luther King Jr. that unjust laws give us a moral responsibility to break them. To get back on topic, you've probably seen that Tesla shares have been plunging as of recent, which is amazing. It makes me super happy to see because it means Elon Musk's net worth is being greatly reduced. A lot of his wealth is hoarded up in Tesla shares. But that's probably the extent of what you've seen. What you haven't been told is that there have been massive protests outside numerous Tesla dealerships in the United States and across the globe. There have been arson attacks against Tesla superchargers, dealerships, people's vehicles, and even Tesla's leadership don't appear confident in the future of the company. And they're selling shares like crazy. It looks like they're about to jump ship. Nobody can force you to stop boycotting Tesla, stop boycotting X. Nobody can force you to buy a Tesla. Donald Trump today bought a Tesla to lend his boy a helping hand, which is ridiculous because Donald Trump doesn't even drive himself around. It's whatever. When you combine this with the mass exodus we're seeing from the X platform over to other spaces like Blue Sky and Threads, it really shows how well this boycott is performing. It's actually really exciting. And it points out that the only thing these billionaires, these elites care about is not whether or not they're morally right or wrong, whether they're using the power in the right ways, but they care about the money. And the only way to affect them, the only way to make them feel threatened is you attack their money. You should join in on these boycotts if this is the first time you're hearing about it. Start taking action. And the last part of this video, I just want to touch on very briefly how Elon Musk has been fleecing, has been robbing the American people's resources, wealth, and rights away. One of the most obvious ways is that Elon Musk is a billionaire. In fact, I still believe he's the richest man in the world despite these boycotts so far. And the only way you get to be a billionaire is not through hard work. Not at all. There's no way you can amass that amount of money through hard work. It's through the gross theft of other people's labor, an unimaginable amount of theft, actually. Let's dig a little deeper into where Elon Musk's wealth comes from. When you take a look into all the companies Elon Musk's been involved with over the decades, such as PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla, the Boring Company, Starlink as a subsidiary of SpaceX, you'll find that Elon Musk contributes nothing to the accomplishments of these companies. And nothing. He's not the engineers building the rockets. He's not putting satellites in the sky. He bought PayPal and touted himself as a founder after he paid the founders for the title. He did not add any value. The people in those companies added value. The engineers and the scientists, they did that. He's not the founder of Tesla, contrary to popular belief, and I don't blame them because that's what he presents himself as. It's a lie. And for Elon Musk's companies, especially SpaceX and Tesla, he rakes in tens of billions of US tax dollars, our money that we give to the government in the form of contracts and being subsidized by the government, I think Tesla might be maybe the biggest example of being subsidized by our government ever. And let me explain. In the United States, if you want to buy yourself a new electric vehicle, you will be paying out at the very least, $40,000 to $45,000, and the price range is much higher here. While the used market is a different story for obvious reasons, have you ever heard of a electric vehicle selling for under 10,000 US dollars in this country? You haven't, and there's a big reason for that. BYD is an EV company from China who sells these vehicles at under $10,000. In fact, most of their lineup is cheaper than any new Tesla model. The lineup has functioning self-driving capabilities. They're made with better quality. In fact, better batteries since they were originally founded as a battery company. The reason you will never see any of these vehicles nor their low prices in this country is because of tariffs. Biden and Trump have both hiked up tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles to over 100%. When it's compounded with Trump's new tariffs, it's even higher. So a vehicle, part of their lineup that may cost, $25,000, which is still far cheaper than any new electric vehicle you can get in this country right now, you'll be paying at least $50,000. $30,000 translates to $60,000. It's incredibly expensive. Who does this protect? BYD is now selling more electric vehicles than Tesla. They've eclipsed the company. In short, it benefits Elon Musk. If these tariffs didn't exist, Tesla would not exist. They just could not compete with BYD and other electric vehicle companies across the world. Like all these tariffs that are coming up, they're taxes on us, not on those countries. When we put tariffs on Mexico, when we put tariffs on China, we are the ones paying the higher prices. And since Elon Musk's wealth is hoarded up in Tesla, he is literally propped up by our government. And when you add to the equation over the past 6-7 weeks that he's been in power, where he's awarded himself a Verizon contract for billions of dollars in value, when the State Department was trying to buy hundreds of millions of dollars in Cybertrucks, that is directly paying Elon Musk money. When Elon Musk used his power as acting head of Doge to get rid of all the people investigating his various companies for corruption and theft and breaking the law, these are abuses of power in front of all of our eyes. This list could go on forever. This video would never end. And we haven't even dug deep into what he pushes, what his agenda is, what he's been publishing on X. It's insane. He's evil, corrupt, a thief. Elon Musk is not a man who deserves money, power, nor influence. We should fully support this boycott. We should fully support taking action against Elon Musk's companies. And I mean, in a time when Elon Musk is actively using his power to stop the government from holding him a little bit accountable for his theft and crimes, who's left to stop it? In the end, what we've been left with as saving hope is us versus him.